We have with us Dr. Meghna Pasi. She's a nutrition consultant with Arogya World. Thank you so much, Dr. Pasi, for joining us today. The first thing which I would like to ask you here is, we've been celebrating World Breastfeeding Week, and we've just concluded that, but it's not really about celebrating just a week. Actually, we should be talking about this every day. In fact, celebrating this every day and normalizing the conversation. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, a very, very important question, Ambika, because this is just not for a day, for a week, or for a month. Lactation is a period which is more important than pregnancy, I feel. Because for pregnancy, it's just the 9 months, but lactation goes on for 2 years, and it should. So it starts from the day the baby is born, the first hour, which is very, very important. Exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, extremely important. And then complementary feeding starts after the child is 6 months of age. But you still have to continue with breastfeeding till the child is around 2 years of age and even further. This is what the WHO and the UNICEF recommends. So yes, a very, very important period, both for the mother as well as for the child.
So, like you just said, it's important. Okay, there's so many myths, there's disbeliefs, especially while I think breastfeeding, and a mother is lactating, they say, don't eat this, it'll cause heartburn, acidity, the child will cry. So can you help us debunk some of these myths, please?
Yes, so I will take a few because there are many, especially in India. We have a lot of myths, maybe, what we heard from our grandparents, our nannies and dadis, telling us, eat this, do not eat this. Sometimes some foods can cause gastric trouble. So first of all, let me come to the point that the composition of the milk is constant. It may vary in calories and fats a little bit here and there, depending upon the time of the day and the need of the child's nutritional needs. But otherwise, it remains more or less constant. So it is around 87% of it is water. There's around 1% of proteins and around 7% of carbs, and the rest is fats. So there would be a slight variation in the fat content, but most of the times, be it any mother or the child, the nutritional content remains the same. It's because it depends on the child's needs. So first of all, when you say that, you need to eat more so that you can produce more milk. No, that's again a myth. Yes, the nutritional needs of the mother are higher than even during pregnancy, because she has lost a lot during labor, right? And now that she's feeding, so the caloric needs are higher, but that doesn't mean that you increase the content of the food by increasing sugar and fats. Increasing calories means increasing nutritionally dense foods. But yes, she needs to eat more, but that doesn't mean she needs to eat double. And now coming to what to eat and what not to eat. So people say that, you have to drink more milk so that you can produce more milk. No, it's about, feeding your child, the frequency of and the number of feeds. How many times do you take your child, right? That's the time when your the quantity of milk increases. It's not about you drinking more of milk. It's not about you drinking more water, right? So this is one myth. Second is eating gassy foods. You feel gastric and you feel that, that would lead to gastric trouble in my child as well. But check it out, if you feel having cabbage or cauliflower or some spicy foods that are causing trouble to your child, you can check that, because it's very, very individual.
Yeah.
Something that doesn't cause a heartburn or a gastric or a colic to my child may not be the same with the other, right? So it's very individual, right? So there are no such foods that you need to avoid. But yes, you have to keep a track of the caffeine. So number of cups of teas and coffees, and even I would say alcohol, something that if possible avoid. But then again, it's very individual. If at all, you're planning for a party or you plan to have a couple of drinks, you should first feed your child and then go for a drink, so that because it takes a couple of hours for the alcohol to pass into the milk, which can cause a little disorientation. It can harm your child, right? So smoking is again a no, right? Processed foods is a no. Don't go in for sugary drinks or sweets. There are a few foods that we say there are galactagogues, which can increase the production of milk. Right? Our dadis and nanis have been telling us for so long that you should have gond, you should have sont, you should have that ginger powder or turmeric, jeera, ajwain, dill seeds, right? Which can reduce the colic, which can reduce gastric trouble. Yes, these are very good foods. Coconut, for example, right? They can help you, but I would say that if you don't believe, modern science doesn't say so, but Ayurveda does, right? And they give a lot of importance to these foods, and they are included in a mother's diet. So I would say, yes, go for it. There's no harm, but moderation again is the key. In case if you don't believe that, these foods will help your child, at least it will help you. So if you are feeling gastric, having ajwain wala pani or, just a little bit of ginger would definitely help you. So some foods will soothe you, will keep you calm. For example, turmeric. There are a few foods that are happy foods, like a banana or turmeric, any fruits that you can take, even nuts, flax seeds. So many seeds and nuts that you can include in your diet, which can keep you calm and composed, and which is very, very important for a mother during feeding.